This is an audio-visual presentation of the research project Fragility, Resilience, Development and Investment, FREDI, carried out by the Institute for Higher Education in Diplomatic and Consular Training, INESTIC, the academic organ of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, MIREX, through the Directorate of Research and Innovation. This research was conducted in collaboration with the National University for the Defense of the Armed Forces, on aid of the Ministry of Defense, MIDE. The study addresses the challenges faced by the border provinces of the Dominican Republic, Monte Cristi, Dajabon, Elias Piña, Independencia, and Pedernales, regions that, due to structural factors and adverse situations, experience high levels of fragility and limited resilience. In this video, we explore how FREDI research analyzes the conditions of these areas and proposes solutions that seek to strengthen decision-making in the implementation of public policies and resilience, thus promoting development and improving the living conditions of its inhabitants. Through this collaborative effort, FREDI seeks to generate a positive and sustainable impact on Dominican border communities. FREDI research team was prepared by architect Milagros Nanita Kennett, geographer Wandra Baez from INESTIC, Colonel Aldo Fernandez from CESFRONT, and Lieutenant Elizamel Hernandez from UNAID. The FREDI research was carried out under the premise that the border zone is highly fragile and has limited resilience due, in large part, to historical and structural causes and multiple adverse situations that alter the social and economic order of the area. The preparation of this research was supported by multiple individuals, governmental organizations, and private Dominican institutions. The FREDI research began in September 2021 when 2 software programs donated by entities and individuals from the United States were adapted to the Dominican reality. The research concluded in August 2024, producing 6 volumes corresponding to the methodology and the provinces studied. The publications resulting from the study were financed by the United Nations, IOM, UNDP, and USAID. What is FREDI? FREDI is a methodology focused on the preparation of public policies through which it is possible to identify priorities and prioritize critical programs directed at sustainable development and investment. FREDI is a multidimensional analysis used to conduct scientific and humanistic research, and it performs 1. Macrogeospatial studies examining shared problems or resources. 2. Comparative fragility studies to analyze a range of socioeconomic factors. And 3. Micro-resilience studies to obtain and analyze local data on the most critical community basic systems. It is worth noting that fragility and resilience are normally studied separately, but in FREDI, a novel methodology, both factors are studied together. For our research, resilience was examined as the capacity of communities to anticipate, absorb, and adapt to negative circumstances that disrupt the community order, as well as the local capacities of physical structures and social systems. The Community Resilience Lifeline Systems (CRLS) software, donated for this research, was used to prepare the resilience studies. This software first appeared in a book published in 2022 by the American Society of Civil Engineers, ASC. The software analyzes and performs a logarithmic analysis based on the numerical data collected at the community level. To collect information, 10 workshops were held, each with the participation of approximately 30 community actors. In the workshops, different resilience values were weighed, and these were incorporated into the CRLS software after reaching a consensus among the participants. The established ranges were from 1, the worst, to 10, the best. Monte Cristi was the province with the highest resilience, 4.91 points, followed by Dajabon, 4.63, Independencia, 3.73, Pedernales, 3.55, and Elias Piña, 3.52. The term fragility is directly associated with economic factors, quality of life, and complex emergencies, with higher scores indicating less fragility, and therefore a better proxy for good governance. For its analysis, the software MC Fragilidad, Community Fragility Methodology, was used, which was donated by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. The software consists of 3 databases that include around 250 indicators primarily from the National Statistics Office, 1, the Central Bank, and UNDP. The results showed that the province with the best performance and therefore the least fragility is Dajabon, with values of 745.16, followed by Monte Cristi, 658.78, Independencia, 629.35, Pedernales, 450.23, and Elias Pena, the most fragile, with 433.99. As part of the main findings, 12 limitations were identified as the main causes of the high fragility and low resilience observed in the provinces studied. It can be asserted that the limitations found constitute major impediments to the development of the region and cause delays in any economic and social advantage or capacity these provinces may have. They include territorial interruption, low interprovincial road connectivity, lack of ports and airports, low population density, poverty and lack of infrastructure, environmental deterioration, population displacement, disorganized migratory flows, presence of complex emergencies, low investment capacity of local governments, low economic and business density, and lack of technical schools and skilled labor. Among the most critical issues found are the lack of interprovincial connectivity and the disconnect between some municipalities. Currently, there is no direct road communication between the north and the south, meaning between Monte Cristi and Pedernales and vice versa. The direct access between Dajabon and Elias Pena is through the international road, which is in poor condition and presents a great security risk. Direct access between Elias Pena and Independencia is almost impossible, requiring travel to San Juan to connect the two provinces. Similarly, there is no direct communication between Independencia and Pedernales, and one must go around the Barahona coast to travel between these provinces. As for intermunicipal communication, one of the most obvious examples is the lack of road connection between Pedro Santana and Hondo Valle, two municipalities located in a province of just 1,395.5 square kilometers. As can be inferred, this lack of connections results in isolation between border provinces and between them and the rest of the country, which is an extremely negative factor for the economy, trade, industrialization, marketing, and the execution of many sectoral projects. Another critical and vital condition is poverty. It is estimated that more than 290,000 Dominicans exited poverty in 2022. By the second quarter of 2024, the central bank reported a poverty rate of 19%. However, these economic improvements have not been equitably transferred to the border zone, which maintains a poverty rate higher than the national average, as is the case with Elias Pena, which had a poverty level of 55.4% in 2018. For the FREDI team, these disparities can be explained by the formation of a vicious cycle in which poverty and unemployment are tightly intertwined. A significant portion of the youth, between 14 and 19 years old, emigrate to other places in search of new opportunities, creating a labor gap and a significant deficit in the economically active population. The spaces left by the displaced people are filled by undocumented foreign immigrants who typically come from poor communities and are paid lower wages than Dominicans, keeping local labor wages below the national level. Furthermore, with poverty, unemployment, and displacement, tax burdens decrease, reducing the capacity of local governments to undertake new social programs and meet the basic needs of the population. This scenario creates great difficulty for good governance, making it hard to govern a poor and unemployed population. Among the problems found that have the most severe impact on economic development, hope, and the quality of life of people and communities are the deficiencies in basic services, health, and education. The border zone shows significant rurality and overcrowding in housing. Wastewater collection is poor or non-existent, and the number of toilets is far below the national system, while the use of latrines doubles or triples the national level. Regarding education, it is estimated that Elias Pena and Monte Cristi are far below the national average in terms of student enrollment. In health, it should be noted that Monte Cristi has the highest number of hospitals. However, in the resilience studies, the health sector was identified as the most critical problem. It is of particular interest to note that Monte Cristi receives the highest number of Haitian pregnant women in the border zone, a situation that escalated in 2022 to 61.1% of the services provided. This has been a highly controversial issue between Dominicans and Haitians. According to the 2016 Global Climate Risk Index, significant increases in temperature and rainfall are expected, which will increase the risk of natural phenomena. The study states that the Dominican Republic ranks 11th, and Haiti is one of the 3 most affected countries by climate change. The FREDI research identified that Independencia faces the highest flood risk, and Monte Cristi is most at risk of earthquakes. All provinces showed high drought risk, and all face similar environmental problems, such as land clearing for agriculture, agricultural encroachment in protected areas, deforestation along riverbanks, tree cutting for charcoal production, logging on mountain slopes, and in some cases, logging and smuggling of guacanejo, Hispaniolan cottontail. The good news is that the border provinces have made significant progress in environmental protection. For example, Pedernales has 68.9% of its land declared as protected areas, and Independencia has 61%. The border economy heavily relies on formal and informal exports to Haiti, with much of the trade occurring through binational markets such as Dajabon/Wanamith, Jimani/Malpassé, Commendator/Belladere, and Pedernales/Once Petra. A 2017 central bank study shows that informal exports to Haiti totaled $331.1 million that year. In contrast, formal exports reached $875.72 million in 2021, according to Prodominicana. These commercial exchanges are crucial for the region's economy and for Haiti, which significantly depends on products from these markets for food security. However, agricultural exports, a key component of this trade, are hindered by outdated subsistence farming methods and limited infrastructure. Modernizing agriculture and enhancing infrastructure to connect production areas with markets are high priorities. The FREDI study identified Pedernales as the province with the most land area and protected zones, but the least agricultural production. Independence has the highest agricultural output, followed by Monte Cristi, Dajabon, Elias Pina, and Pedernales. For FREDI, complex emergencies involve social disorder, illicit trade, environmental issues, and natural disasters, all significant barriers to development. FREDI's publications include literature and maps detailing key smuggling routes and high-risk communities. Studies reveal that drugs entering the country are partly consumed domestically, with distribution concentrated in impoverished neighborhoods with high unemployment and limited government presence. Payment for drugs has shifted from cash to drugs themselves, increasing local drug consumption, particularly among youth. Smuggling of undocumented individuals is facilitated by podias, who use clandestine routes across the Dominican-Haitian border, often starting on foot and transitioning to hidden locations. An intelligent perimeter fence, initiated in 2021, is under construction, with its first phase nearing completion. Authorities report a decline in smuggling along completed sections. The medium and long-term effects of this project require further study. Monte Cristi was identified as the province most affected by complex emergencies, followed by Dajabon, Pedernales, Elias Pina, and Independence. The FREDI study identified 10 critical sectors for investment: tourism, trade, mining, agribusiness, agriculture, livestock, free trade zones, wind energy, fisheries, and the informal sector. Recommendations coincide with ongoing megaprojects like hotel and tourism developments in Cabo Rojo, Pedernales, and the expansion of the port of Manzanillo in Monte Cristi. Additional efforts include upgrading binational markets, constructing new roads, expanding free trade zones, and advancing wind energy projects. To foster tourism and other sectors, investments in basic services, education, health, new technologies, and quality job creation are essential. These measures aim to improve salaries and living standards, particularly in impoverished border communities, ensuring equitable development. The mining sector plays a significant role in the border economy. The Dominican-Haitian border is part of a mineral belt crossing the island from east to west, attracting interest from foreign investors and mining companies. In the Dominican Republic, Dajabon and Elias Pina have gold, silver, and copper deposits. Pedernales has bauxite, aluminum, and marble. Monte Cristi has titanium, and Independence and Monte Cristi have oil reserves. Developing a comprehensive plan exceeds the FREDI research scope, but investments in border tourism are expected to transform the region, fostering political, social, and administrative improvements and attracting further investments. The transformation may extend tourism in Cabo Rojo to include Lake Enriquillo and enhance agricultural exports from Dajabon and Codivi in Wanamith, Haiti, using the expanded port of Manzanillo. Strengthened relations between Elias Pena and San Juan are also anticipated, with Elias Pena benefiting from San Juan's advanced agriculture, education, and infrastructure. The FREDI team emphasizes that border prosperity will benefit both Dominicans and Haitians, demonstrating the effectiveness of its methodology in identifying public policies for development and diagnosing fundamental community issues. The presentation only partially summarizes the FREDI research. For more information, please refer to the publications accessible via the QR code. Translation: Alexandra Linus Florentino, and video design: Israel Martinez. Thank you.